Say a few of these quietly to yourself. And as you do, I want you to remember what your body felt like the times you've actually said them. I can't drop the ball. There's too much on me. I can't switch off. I'm behind. There isn't enough time. Just notice or remember how the body felt in those moments. Can you feel it? Something tightens, the shoulders draw in a fraction, the breath gets a little shorter, super subtle, but very clear once you look for it. And you didn't move. You may have just been sitting there or standing there perceiving the situation. Nothing in the room changed. A few words moved, a perception moved, and the body answered instantly, every time. Intricately connected. Now try this one on for a moment. There's nothing here I need to brace against. Or remember a moment where you actually felt that. Yeah, when something resolved or you finally let something go. The jaw softens, the breath drops a little lower. The same body in the same room, but a different perception and a nervous system that matches that perception. And the gap between those two states, with nothing external having changed, is the whole thing I want to talk about here. Because most of us are walking around convinced our state is being set by what's happening to us from out there. And it isn't. Not mostly. It's being set by what we're perceiving is happening to us. Yeah, the nervous system is always listening to that. It's listening right now. And so if you're sitting there wondering, cool, is this for me? Is this video for me? I'm talking to the people who've been holding a lot, yeah, carrying a lot for a long time, who can switch on at will and increasingly can't switch off. And maybe you've tried the breathing apps, the meditation apps, the cold water, and all of the other techniques and found they work for an afternoon, and then the old tension creeps back on Tuesday. This video here is for you if you're starting to suspect that the problem isn't that you haven't found the right technique, it's something a little deeper, something underneath that. The thing underneath is more workable than you actually think. It's more accessible and it lives in two places at once. Yeah. Here's what I had to learn the hard way. We treat the body and the mind as two separate problems, super common in Western society. We either try to think our way out and reframe it, rationalize it, talk ourselves down. And the body stays braced anyway because you can't argue a clenched nervous system into softening. Or we go the other way. We treat the body like a machine to be operated, forced, a long exhale, do the protocol, and ignore the perception that's quietly keeping the threat switched on the whole time. Both are half the work, and then we conclude we're broken or that this stuff doesn't work on us. It's not for me. But perception and the nervous system were never two systems. They're one loop, one closed system. How you see a thing sets the state of your body, and the state of your body sets what you're even able to see. A braced body can only perceive threat. It's not capable of perceiving safety, no matter how reasonable the argument. So you can't only think your way out, and you can't only breathe your way out. You have to work the loop, both ends at the same time. Now, let me make that super, super clear because this is the actual practice. Yeah. Start with the perception because almost nobody believes how physical it is. The way you're holding a situation in your mind is not neutral commentary running in the background like it doesn't matter. It is an instruction your body is receiving and obeying moment to moment. This might go wrong isn't a thought, it's a posture. It's the held breath. It's the flinch when the phone rings. Yeah, when you genuinely shift how you're seeing, not by forcing positivity, but by actually questioning whether the threat is real or just familiar. The body gets a new instruction. The shoulders drop. That's not simply a metaphor. That's the loop running in your favor for once. And the most direct way into that perception, the one I think is most under attended to in this whole field, is language. The actual words we use, language both shapes how we perceive reality and reflects how we already perceive it. And either way, it lands straight on the nervous system. This is the reason I work with neuro-linguistic programming with every client and at the retreat, because it is the blind spot. You can do all of the embodiment work. You can have all the cognitive understanding of the processes. And still, if the language you're using doesn't reflect what's actually true and accurate about your experience, it keeps quietly generating extra load for the body and nervous system. So this is an example, right? Generalization. It was a really bad day. The relationship has been really bad lately. Hear what that does. It tells your system that every single percent of that day, every part of that relationship was bad, which was never true, but the nervous system can't tell the difference. It experiences the words as the report and braces accordingly. As you can get the language closer to what's actually true, say a hard hour in the day was pretty tough today, you just take a massive load off of the body just by telling more of the truth. But here's the catch with language. Before you can change it, you have to be able to hear it, yeah, and see it. And most of us can't hear our own. Yeah, it runs too automatically. It's too close, like reading a book that's sitting flush on your face. Can't see it. So we need to create a bit of space and start to be able to see the words on the page and the words that we're placing onto reality and reality as the page. This is part of why working with someone matters. I've done it myself. A good practitioner shines a light on the blind spot, catches the generalizations as they leave your mouth, right? The one you've said 10,000 times and stop noticing. Yeah. We've desensitized ourselves to it. It's become a norm and we call it, it's just words. It's just language. What does it matter? How can that affect this matter, this physical body? This is also where meditation comes in beyond the breath, because what meditation really trains is observation. Yeah. Bringing that book further away, a refined, thorough capacity to be able to observe our own mind and to start to hear the language while it's happening instead of only realizing afterwards. That noticing is the beginning of the whole thing, the big shift. You can't change what you can't hear or see. Now, and this is the part I really want to land. A lot of what drives your nervous system isn't conscious perception at all. It's old patterning, stuff laid down long before it had language for it. A body that learned early that it wasn't safe to switch off, and you can't reach that with a reframe alone because it was never a thought in the first place. It lives below thought in the body. So that's the second end. You use the body as a gateway to let the breath return to its own rhythm instead of forcing it. You let the jaw loosen, shoulders drop, and bracing dissolves. And when the body softens first, it sends a signal up that the conscious mind couldn't generate on its own. It's safe to be here. The body tells the mind something the mind couldn't talk itself into. And here's the thing nobody tells you. You don't choose one end. Yeah, the mistake is thinking it's the body versus the mind. Maybe we go this way. Body versus the mind. Mistake is thinking it's body. The mistake is thinking it's body versus mind, and it's not. You attend to the perceptions of the mind and you use the body as the gateway and you let them meet in the middle. When you work both at once, when a softening of the body and a shifting of perception arrive together, the loop that was keeping you wound up starts running the other direction. That's what meditation and breath work actually are when done intentionally. They're not techniques, they're two doors. That's three doors. They're not techniques, they're two doors into the same loop. Now, one more piece, because it's the part that most people misunderstand. When I talk about a settled nervous system, people hear flat, calm, as in muted, even killed, nothing being allowed. That's not it at all. The goal was never to feel less. A regulated nervous system isn't one that stops having big emotions. It's one that can hold them. Yeah. Think about what actually happens to most of us in those scenarios. A wave of real joy comes through and a part of us tightens against it because big feeling has started to feel unsafe. Anger rises and we either clamp down or get swept away by it for 3 days. Grief arrives and the whole system braces. The problem was never the emotion. The problem is a baseline that's so thin that any strong feelings throw it off kilter. And then we struggle to find our way back. What you're actually building is a settled layer underneath all of it, a floor steady enough that the full vibrancy of being alive can move across it. Joy, anger, fear, delight, everything in between. A full volume without knocking you off your feet. You feel it completely. You're just not thrown by it. And when the wave passes, there's a natural, easeful return to baseline, not a white knuckled effort to calm down, but a settling that happens on its own, the way the body was always designed to do. That's the real marker. Not that life stops moving through you, it's that you can be deeply moved and come home. The floor holds. So the feeling, just like the sound of that motorbike running through my system, the floor holds so that the feeling is free to be as big as it actually is. No more, no less. I'll tell you what this sounds like from people who've lived it. Yeah. One described it as finally stopping the fight. He said he'd spent years trying to force calm, and calm only arrived the very moment he stopped chasing it, like he'd been thrashing in water that would have held him if he'd just let it. Someone else said the change wasn't that hard things stopped happening, it's that her body stopped treating every hard thing as an emergency. The phone would ring and she'd just answer it. Same life, a different nervous system underneath it. Another client had said the strangest part was how unremarkable it felt, extraordinary. No fireworks, just a quiet that didn't actually leave when the week got busy. Like the floor had moved and stayed moved, a new baseline that she had arrived at. And what they're sharing isn't a technique per se, it's a shift in the whole loop. Perception and body finally pointing in the same direction, working as a team. If something in this is landing as you listen to it, this loop working both ends is the entire basis of how I work. The retreats I run are built to be a kind of recalibration chamber, 5 days where we can quiet the noise enough to actually work both ends at once. The perceptions running underneath and the body that's been expressing and seemingly holding the pattern without the rest of life pulling you back to baseline every afternoon. And the one-to-one work is really the other half of it. That's where we tend to do the longer arc, helping the nervous system find a new baseline and maintain it over weeks, months, and years. Long after any single experience, the chamber opens the door. The ongoing work is what makes the new floor stay, a new baseline that people start to land in. There's no urgency in this for a reason. If it's calling you, the link's in the description, or just email me and we'll have an actual conversation about whether it's the right thing for you right now. Sometimes it isn't, and I'll say so. And if now isn't the moment, start anyway. You don't need me to begin noticing how your body answers the way that you're perceiving things. Notice it today. Take it into your day. That's already the work beginning. And so I'll be putting out more over the next while, going deeper into this, how to work with the patterning underneath, what to actually do at each end of the loop, and what a settled baseline actually feels like from the inside. If that's useful, subscribe and you'll get them as they come. Thank you for watching. Remember, here for it all and together in deep work, rest and play. See you in the next one.